Alright people, today let's take a look at the Hasbro Star Wars Black Series Shaak Ti, Luminara Unduli, and Sebulba. You don't know how many times that took. I can say all the names separately, but you smash them all together while I'm trying to do that upward anyway, I got Luminara a few weeks at Amazon and was waiting on Shaak Ti and Sebulba until I walked into my remaining GameStop, and there they were, presented in front of me on the pegs. Yes, they were $1 more each, but I couldn't help myself. I've been waiting for these. Some more prequel trilogy stuff. So here I am, taking a look at all three of them at the same time, as I like to do. I like to do groups, you know? Hey, I get to open way more toys. I will say I ended up with an extra Shaak Ti because before I could cancel, Amazon turned around and shipped the one I had pre-ordered from there. Isn't that always the way? You wait and wait and wait, and then when you find one somewhere, boom, it starts shipping from everywhere. But I'm okay that it happened to Shaak Ti because I do notice a couple of spots here and there, but on this one, there's red up on the top. So there are paint differences before I even get the packages open. I don't know. Let's get these open, see what's going on. Since I'm already talking about her, let's start with Shaak Ti. Star Wars Black Series logo, Shaak Ti, Attack of the Clones in red. Warning, choking hazard, small parts. Don't put them in your mouth. On the side, some nice artwork. That larger along with a bio. The usual other side. Same top, same bottom. Let's do this. Two of them. Oh, and I wasn't prepared. I wasn't ready. Of course, I'd seen it through the packaging, through the window, and from there, I knew that the paint was awesome, that the sculpt was amazing. I could see those dark eyes peering out from the white around them. Those dark red lips on the, well, I was gonna say light red skin, but it's just red skin. It's red. This gold going up and over the head and then down the center, and these red marks in the white. Marks to the head tails going down and around, and the sculpt right here, making it kind of lumpy bumpy. And that does continue on the bigger part hanging down the back along with some gold. I even saw the front of the dress, this plastic part hanging down in front through the window, and I knew that, oh, that looks like an entry rug. I know, I'm from Arkansas, this just seems fancy. There's just a lot of intricate detail to the sculpt and the paint here. So yeah, on the surface, I was already impressed with the paint apps, the sculpt, all the details, but there was this lingering thought of, oh man, these coming down in the front and then this coming down in the back, that's going to get in the way of articulation. Plus a lot of robes, going to be a pain in the ass, posing, I'm going to get angry, but no. No. First off, these are super soft. They are flexy, and it's the same here on the back. Well, okay, you saw the head tilt forward a bit. That thickness does work against it a little bit there, but these being thinner, my biggest fear was she wouldn't be able to turn her head, but no, she can. Sure, it kicks it a little bit, but I feel like in real life that would happen. She wouldn't be able to do that without those flexing out of the way. And if you really want her looking to the side, just kick this over the shoulder and she's looking all the way to the side. Same thing with the plastic scarf thing hanging down, very flexy. And do I need to say it? It's the same here, hanging down off the belt. It's just flappy. Now, you kick the legs forward and the skirt may go down around the leg, but this will shingle out kind of thing. But that's just how plastic works. She has the traditional Jedi robe on the outside. It's soft goods, but it's also done fairly well. I say traditional, look how it curves down and around. I don't believe Obi-Wan's or anybody else's does that. There is a pseudo hood hanging down. It's more of a flap. It's not going to come up and over her head. One, because of this, and two, it's sewn down, so it's not going to come up on top of this part holding it down, which I like. It's not going to do its own thing, just flare out and look odd. The sleeves get larger as it goes down, as it should. It should hang down, but since it's soft goods, if the arms are down in this position, it looks pretty natural. You raise the arms up, it's going to flap down as it should. So yeah, I like that too. Then there's the skirt piece made out of a different material, almost a lighter material, and then it has some texture to it, some lines. It changes up from the robe. The brown is sleek. The red skirt is a bit more fabric-y, and I like it because it does wrinkle up a bit. It has a thinner natural feel. It works in this scale. Now I'm holding her up, so this is gonna hang down further than the feet. but when you put her in a standing position, it's going to trail behind a bit, which works. It looks so good. But another reason I like this on her, the reason it works well here is because, well, I mentioned it, this coming down, holding down the back. There's also these coming down in the front. There's this. So it breaks up the soft goods. Usually from Hasbro, from Black Series, well, okay, look at it like this. It could be a little flat, a little lifeless. But all that working in conjunction with the plastic parts layers things up. It makes it much more pleasing to the eye. Instead of looking for flatness and lifelessness, you're thinking, oh, well, there's this, and then there's this, and then there's this, and the colors, and everything, it stands out, but it also works so well together. There's also the body underneath. On the torso, there's just a brown shirt look, and I'm not sure if this is reuse or not. There's a butterfly joint at the shoulder, and then the arms get fairly plain under that. I wouldn't fault them for this being reuse. Well, on top of it being covered all the time. I'm never going to take this Jedi robe off, so I'll never see him again. Well, I said it was plain. There is a little bit of cloth wrinkle sculpted in places around the elbow, down at the bottom. So if it does ride up a bit, like the arms sticking out like that, it won't look out of place. Was there a Padme that may have used this? Man, I'm so far beyond the point of recognizing parts and pieces. Looking at the legs, though, I do believe those are Aayla Secura. I mean, I only noticed that because I grabbed all the Jedi to do a comparison here in a minute, and getting those side by side, yeah. At least down to the boot. Those get plain. And then Shaak Ti has some laces on the front, and I don't recognize these either. Seems a bit militaristic, a little combat bootish, which I'm okay with because it just adds a little something. But again, the dress falling down this far, the skirt part, covers that up. So I probably won't see it. There may be a difference in the reds from the chest to the neck, but it's not really super noticeable. I think this is cast in that color. This is cast in brown and then painted on. So there would be a variance, maybe even sheen difference, but again, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of other things that catch my eye before I get to that point. Going over articulation, there seems to be a dumbbell joint at the top of the neck with a ball at the bottom going down into the torso. Again, these are soft and this is soft, but it's still plastic. It's still gonna get in the way. So looking up, you will get a bit of boing. Looking down, springs back a little. Not bad tilt though, and boy, the closer you get, the more almost intimidating those eyes look. There's some left, there is some right. Butterfly joint that goes forward and back a bit. Pin coming out to the shoulder, rotates around, but soft goods coat or soft goods robe is going to get in the way, so you'll have to back it up. It goes most of the way though. Hinge brings the arm up to there. Hinge and swivel at the elbow, a little past 90. Oh man, is that reuse because of the range? In and out. Swivel at the wrist with a hinge up and down on a weapon wielding hand. The left is, oh, it's also up and down. Ball joint at the waist does some hula hoop action. Ball coming out to the hip, kicks forward, kicks back, kicks out. Oh, that's definitely reuse, huh, with a thigh swivel. Double knee, a lot of bunching up, but it does swivel at the boot. Hinge at the ankle goes back, goes forward, and since the front facing pin goes down a bit, the high heel, the height of the foot itself, there is some rocker, but it's more of a twist. For accessories, of course, she comes with her lightsaber with the blue blade and her own unique hilt. Quick search online, it is pretty dang accurate. And she has no problem with an action stance, holding the lightsaber in both hands. The blade is removable and there's a pin. Let's see, I haven't actually looked for the, oh, okay. There is a hole. And it just adds to the, I was about to say complicated look, but it's not complicated. It's just a lot going on. It's complex. How's that? Because she even kicks ass in neutral stance. That kind of rhymed, didn't it? Since we're going in no particular order, let's do Luminara next. Logo, name, red. There's that side artwork looking beautiful. On the back, slightly closer up, along with her history. Meh, meh, meh. Let's go. I hate to say this. Well, okay, I don't hate to say it because Shaak Ti was fantastic. And when it comes down to it, Luminara is more of the same. So I may be repeating myself a little bit more, but it is a different figure. We're talking about different things. The same general aspects, like this headdress thing, this hood, this whatever it is. It flares up. It comes down over the shoulders, but it is made out of a soft material. It will get out of the way a little. Unfortunately, it's sculpted to go all the way around. Well, I say unfortunately, it's not. That's how it's supposed to be. It's one piece coming around. The only way you would have made it get out of the way completely is to make it soft goods, and then that would have probably not worked really well. This does work because of the sculpt. It looks like it's flaring up. The wrinkles come down. It looks like it has some layers to it, some texture. The sewn line across the bottom. If my camera would stay in focus, please, thank you. So there was no way around that, because it also helps in keeping the robes down, the soft goods that are from the shoulders down. They're just like Shaak Ti, and get ready, I'm going to say that a lot, just like Shaak Ti, but you have the more traditional Jedi robe on the outside, although Luminara's is purple. Ish. In some lights it's bluish, but I really think it's purple. And it does the same thing. It comes down and rounds off at the corners. It also has this fake hood. It's more of a flap hanging down. It's sewn here to keep it down, but again, this does a good job of keeping everything in place. That flows down over the front, and then we get to the skirt, and again, same material. It's that lighter, thinner fabric cloth, and then it has the grooves running through it. Same material there, and same material to the robe. Why wouldn't these be produced at the same time? It's just at different lengths. Luminara is a bit shorter than Shaak Ti. But Luminara doesn't have the cloth coming down as sleeves. They actually opted to sculpt unique arms for her. At the top, there's a bagginess with a droop down behind the elbow, and then this brown shirt peeking out here. That is a continuation from the torso. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that is unique to Luminara too. There's wrinkles running across, there's a couple of seam lines on each side, and then you have this necklace, this clasp, this brooch, just this gold ornament of some kind. And that gold comes back into play at the bracers, which feels very regal, but Jedi. She does have a lot of ornate colors to her, because there's also some bronze poking out with that intricate sculpt. And again, just like Shaak Ti, there's this flap on the front, soft plastic material, gets up and out of the way, very flexy. I love this round medallion, buckle, whatever that is, and then there's another one sticking out from behind the sculpted belt. And I'm going to use the word again, intricate. Detail, sculpt, paint running down the front there. The legs are once again Ayla Secura's. Well, it was originally Aura Singh, wasn't it? Or did it go to somebody else too? But I think there was some tweaks to Ayla. Anyway, they do match up from hip to double knee with the pins exposed, and then the top of the boots. But then they changed up the foot itself. It's not the same boot. Ayla had this high heel on the back, and then this little flappy flap on the front. Luminara's is much more clean. It still has a high sole, but not as much detail on top. But then the face sculpt. It has a calmness to it. The eyes painted nicely, the lips, the extra detail to the chin. I didn't really go into this detail with Shaak Ti, but the flappy piece is attached to a belt that goes around the waist, and then it looks like the cloth piece is kind of sandwiched into the joint. And what else can I say? It's just another great looking Jedi. 2 in a row, 2 in the same day. Articulation, there is a dumbbell joint at the top of the neck with a ball at the bottom going into the torso. This is all around it. So up isn't great. Down is okay as long as you flex it, but it will fight you. More tilt than I thought. Left and right it has no problem. It flexes up and over and actually holds it in place. There is a butterfly joint, and if I didn't know better, it has more forward than back, which is odd for Hasbro butterfly joints, but I like it because it gets the arms forward. Pin coming out to the shoulder, rotates around, but it's got a lot working against it. But if you work inside of it and keep that fabric there, since it doesn't have a sleeve, you will be able to rotate all the way around. Hinges up to there. Hinge and swivel at the elbow. Does come past 90, even with the baggy fabric. Well, the baggy sculpt coming around it. Then it rotates. Swivel at the wrist with a hinge up and down, and I do believe that is the same on the left, yeah. Hula hoop action, very nice. Ball coming out to the hip, kicks forward and back and out. Swivel at the thigh. Double knee shouldn't have a problem whatsoever. Nope. Swivel at the boot. Hinge at the ankle goes back, goes forward, and then the front-facing pin is more front-facing this time, so there's quite a bit of rock. Want to take a wild guess at the accessory? It's a lightsaber. Has Luminara's green blade and her unique hilt with some gold paint here on the end, some silver, some buttons. Yeah, that looks good. Her left hand is actually more of a trigger finger hand, so I'm not sure if get some blaster action going on there or what. Once again, no problem whatsoever getting a two-handed grip. Blade comes out, but I'm just noticing that there's no pin this time around, and there's no hole for a pin. So I guess there's no lightsaber storage unless we put it in the belt. Maybe back here. Yeah, there you go. Secret saber. And then finally, let's crack open Sebulba. Yeah. Sebulba, and then that pale mustard yellow for Phantom Menace. So sinister. And then his pod racer in the background. Close up, and then, of course, the background. Oh, I just realized I could have made a ketchup and mustard joke, but there's that, there's that. Let's do this. And I was super excited about Sebulba. Now, don't get me wrong, it was awesome getting 2 more prequel Jedis, but this is the one I was looking forward to the most. He is a villainous bastard. Well, okay, maybe not villainous, just kind of a dickhead. You know, he's just a selfish butthole, and sometimes you just need one of those on the shelf. But more than that, I wanted to see how Hasbro handled this engineering. Sebulba has that oddball anatomy that I always thought, well, okay, that's going to be near impossible to make in action figure form without having to use stands. His arms are his legs, and he's got feet for hands, which he can use as hands, and then his legs are arms with hands at the end of that he can use as feet. So with the legs being straight up and down, there's a lot of meat to the front. The head tilts forward, he's got a big noggin, the arms come out the front, hang this way. So your automatic thought is, this is gonna fall forward all the time. But no, get the feet fairly flat, and boom. Look at that. I don't know what magic's going on here. Well, one of the first things you notice is the hands, or the feet, are slightly large compared to the movie. But they're not too large. It doesn't make you think, God dang, they made those toy-like. Oh, it's huge. No, you have to really go digging, do some comparisons. It doesn't look out of place, especially when you get to standing them around and go, well, okay, if he can go on a shelf like that, I'm pretty dang happy. Let's try extending the arms out and maybe even the head and get them. This is crazy. What is going on? I'm staring over at my various Black Series droids going, hey, this Sebulba can stand up. Why can't you? Let's really reach out with these arms and then get the head cranked down and maybe lean back. As long as the feet are forward. Oh, what? Okay, is it holding? I thought it was slightly drooping, but it seems to be holding on. That is just damn impressive, Hasbro. I am happier than hell about that. Let me spread the legs out, and okay. There is a breaking point. You gotta keep, well, okay. But it's not just the engineering. There's also the deco, the paint, the sculpting. It all looks great. It is slightly action figured up because of the process, because of the factory, but it starts up here. There is some slightly dark red at the ridge up here on top of the head, and then there's some purple that fades into kind of a khaki color, and organics. That's how I'm going to describe that. It's kind of an organic look. A Star Wars organic look, if you will. And there's also spots to break it up in places that get more prominent on the neck. Those also start popping up on the leg where it goes darker purple again, fades down to the brighter, and then works its way down and around and to the fingers. Also has this orange to the beads on this hanging off, a little bit of green. Little beady eyes poking out, just plotting, scheming, mischievous, homicidal even. He's causing other people to crash at 500,000 miles an hour. Then there's also the clothes, the gear, and that's kind of a two-toned armored look, or layered look, I guess. Has some lighter browns, some darker browns working down to the body. That torso has some straps to it. There's a silver triangle in the middle that matches up with the belt and the dangles on the front, which if these are his arms, is this a crotch? Or is this the crotch? And that would make, wait. at least how we think of anatomy. There's also silver danglies on the back. It comes down to rings, very nicely done. I just noticed this number stamped on his ass. I was gonna say ass, but that would be shoulders, wouldn't it? The shoulder pads are a separate piece, the old O-ring around the shoulder peg that works so nice. It rotates with the arm, but also flexes up out of the way. And now that I've done that, I noticed there's more skin under there, the purples, and the straps here are tight, and it looks like it's kind of forcing that other skin tone out. I was gonna say fingerless gloves, but it's more like a wrist cuff that comes down over the hand, has some laces right there. Oh, and I just noticed this. There's more straps on the arms, but they painted each of those dots there silver. You know that's my most favorite thing when it comes to action figures, those little details. Oh man, I love every aspect of this. And I've been moving around the arms and the legs and the head. Let's flatten out the feet, get them facing forward, see if he stands. Oh, doesn't that look intimidating? He's got that finger point and the tilt to his head. Oh man, this is fantastic. Going over articulation, there is a dumbbell joint at the top of the neck, and then there's a ball joint going down into the body. Together can look up that far and then down and forward that far. Tilt, so much tilt. Well, okay, that's kind of cheating. It's actually rotating that dumbbell joint at the top. But hey, if it works for this anatomy, I gotta call it tilt, right? To the left, to the right. No butterfly joint, but I kind of understand that since all the weight of the figure is on this point. And I understand it's not a huge figure, but again, the way it defies the laws of physics to stand, I'd feel like that would be an extra point to work against it. But there is a pin coming out to the shoulder, rotates around with a hinge that goes up to there. Should have called that the hip, right? And then the knee joint is a hinge and swivel that goes forward slightly past 90, rotates in and out. The ankle is it's a ball joint. So you can get some out, some in, some forward, some back, some rotation. The waist joint is a ball, kicks forward, kicks back. Is there some, there is some tilt side to side, rotation. The shoulders are a ball joint, so rotates around, and then there is some in and out. Hinge and swivel at the elbow, straightens out, kicks back that far. Hinge and swivel at the second elbow, that straightens out that much and bends, that far. Rotates. Then the wrist joint is a hinge forward and back, and then there is rotation outside that. Okay, I've screwballed all this articulation. Let's once again get the joints in, just throw them together here. I don't understand this. It should not work. And I know a lot of it's in these toe joints sticking forward and how big and bulbous they are. As long as you have those forward, it seems to want to stand every time. Now, of course, if you get crazy with it and, if you do this, like have them leaning forward, oh no, my toy, it won't stand up. It's terrible. No, get it, bend in here and get it into a natural, as natural as a Sebulba body looks, a natural position, it stands up. For accessories, there is this fish. I forgot what this is called. It's been a long time since I've dug that deep into episode 1, but it's this little Muppet carcass that Jar Jar steals. Kind of hook it, he can hold it, no problem whatsoever. Plus, I like how that green throws another color into the overall scheme. It kind of stands out, but also adds to. There's also the pod racing helmet, and again, it brings in that two-tone scheme that works with the rest of the bodysuit. Then it has a texture sculpted in, a ridge on top, and some clear lenses. I don't know if there's, just keep pushing until it goes on, I guess. Oh, that adds even more. You can still see the eyes, but it makes it feel more bulbous because of the lenses. Then it goes back, and should it be like that? Is it kind of out of shape, or do I need to extend? Oh yeah, there we go. Extend the neck out and it lays down right. Makes me wonder why they didn't give little Annie his pod racing helmet. Is there some kind of plans for another release of Anakin but not Sebulba? This is all in one go, give him everything he needs. I know it's probably not going to happen, but I would love both of their pod racers side by side. I'd like the whole race, everyone's pod racer, and figures of all the characters, all the racers, but if there were only two made, I'd want Anakin's and Sebulba's. Putting those side by side on a shelf, like the end of the race, yeah, okay. I could live with that. But as is, I will probably display them without the helmet because, oh man, covering up all those paint apps, those fades. How about one more time for old time's sake? Oh my god, it's so good! Size-wise, Luminara stands at about 5 5/8 to the top of her actual head. Shaak Ti stands at about 5 3/4 up to the top of her head, and then 6 3/8 to the top of the head tails. And then Sebulba stands right at 4 inches to the top ridge in full up and down position. Here's Sebulba with Anakin and Jar Jar, Luminara and Shaak Ti with some older clones, and then here they are along various Jedi from my display, both official and customs. The display grows, and that makes me happy, but Hasbro, don't forget, there's more Jedi to make, more Council, more randoms. Just, hey, give me all of them. So at the end of the day, oh, some fine additions to my collection. The Figure Arts Grievous has that on my brain a lot lately. Ugh. But yeah, nothing better than adding 2 new Jedi to the shelf. Some prequel Jedi, especially when they look this unique. And not to mention this posable, this action-oriented. That is awesome. But I've wanted a Sebulba for so long that this is just something special. Now, these are special too, don't get me wrong, but man, that fills a hole that has been empty for a long, long time. And that's always fun. That's always exciting. Doing a little check mark on something that was in your top 10, top 15. I always say Star Wars Black Series has been a roller coaster. Sometimes they have to focus on things that I'm not as interested in, which is okay. Hey, more for everybody else. But when it comes back around to things that I do like, which is a lot of Star Wars, I will admit, but once they come back around, because last year it felt like very sparse when it come to buying Star Wars Black Series, at least for me. This year though, it is bam, 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 just hammering my wallet. But you know what? I'm not gonna complain. That's fine. That's dandy. Take my money, Hasbro. That I'm excited about Star Wars again, and that is such a nice feeling. It's like there's been a hole in my heart for a little while. And now it's just getting filled and filled. Woo! At least that's how I feel about it. And that's really all I can convey in these videos. Bye.